Right, there we go. We are recording. So it's the 24th of Feb. I'm embracing my weirdness once more. Now, if you get the chance to ask a question, which you almost certainly will, ask. Liz will ask you to raise your hand, to use the emoji like where's the hand raisey bit? Where's the hand raisey bit? There we go. Raise hand. There we go. And then lower the hand. And that way she knows that you want to ask a question. So we're talking stuff of a spiritual nature, not like, will I meet the person of my dreams? Will I change jobs? It's not like a personal agony aunt. All right. It's the spooky world hoping to help everyone as a collective. All right. So it's not personal things. If you want that type of thing, then book a reading. All right. That's where we do that sort of stuff. Um, so I'm gonna I better shut up because I really feel that change happening. Excuse me. Whew, my goodness. Okay. Mm. Right. So the next voice you hopefully hear will be my spirit friends. Oh my goodness me. I feel really itchy. That's how it was on a Saturday when I was sat in the cabinet. I feel very light sensitive now, and my eyes feel like they're being drained of liquid, which is an odd sensation. Okay, so everyone that doesn't need to be unmuted, if you make sure you're muted, I'm not. Luckily for me. Okay. Mm. And relax. Oh. So as you're watching, as you're observing, maybe you might see things happen through your clairvoyance. You may see overshadowing, which is an aspect of clairvoyance. You may feel stuff. You may feel a pull within your energy. So just be mindful of what you experience, because I'm always interested to hear what your feedback is. But before I do fully go away with the fairies, I'm just going to do a little opening prayer. So, great and divine Father, my dear spirit friends, I ask you to join us all in this beautiful gathering of friends. This evening we're working with trance mediumship. I ask that you help me, that you work with me, so that together we may deliver philosophy or inspired speaking of some description to uplift, to provoke thinking within those that watch. This gathering is a sacred space, and as always, I wish for only those motivated by unconditional love to work with me and to be with those that have joined us, for their spirit guides to move close to them, for them to feel, if they wish, the presence of that eternal love, so they realize that they indeed are spirit, witnessing spirit. And we ask this in the name of unconditional love. Amen. Mm. 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 Good evening, dear friends. Good evening. Hmm. You know, the opportunity to work with the boy always fills us with gladness, good tidings, a sense of anticipation to once more be this spiritual entity that once more has a voice, that no longer are we silent, but we bear witness to you, our watchful audience, allowing us to share words that may uplift you, that may provoke thinking, consideration. But what we speak does not have to be your truth. It is merely the perspective of a gathering, this group of varied people that through the boy share a perspective. You know, a critical thinking mind is a wonderful thing to have. No matter a person's position of influence or power, do not relinquish, my dear friends, the power of your critical mind, that you, through your own wisdom, will seek to consider whatever you hear, but not blindly follow it, but to use good and sound reasoning and judgment to come to your own conclusion. But I ask you, it seems that the more time that passes, the more people want others to do the thinking for them, that the less they are willing to engage the gray matter to think, what do I consider to be the truth of what I hear or see? They like to look at the screen and have someone tell them what the truth is, to present a convincing argument. And how sad is that? How sad is it that we will blindly follow what someone says because they portray an air of authority? Well, the people that make a difference in your world are people that are prepared to say no. I disagree. And not for the sake of disagreement in itself, but because you use sound reasoning and judgment to have your opinion. and to acknowledge that it is only an opinion. Your truth in some ways is unique to you. Your life is a result of all of your experiences, all of those things that tell you what you believe to be correct. And shouldn't we always have this air of inquisitiveness? Shouldn't we all search within us for what our truth is? Even as this guiding presence with the boy, we are still learning, still growing. The seeds of change are still fertile. We do not reach a stopping point where we say, as a guiding influence, we are no longer impervious to change. The change is the one constant in the universe. Consciousness in itself constantly adapting, bringing more into its awareness. The truth is malleable, and so should you be. When you observe what you call social media, when you receive this information from these corporate sources, consider this. What is their angle? Why do they tell you what they tell you? Is it from the goodness of their heart that they say these things? Because of a genuine wish for you to be informed? Or do they want you to listen to a narrative, a point of view that will serve them? If you do not know the answer to this, maybe search within yourself as you listen or observe and say, what does my soul say to me? What does that intuitive nature of me tell me? Do you resonate with a negative tone? Or does what they say resonate with you in a positive manner? And so let the truth be felt by you, not just taken like a pill with a glass of water twice a day. Let the truth truly be felt by each and every one of you. Be the master of your own thinking. Do you not agree that this may be a wiser path to follow, my friends? Do we have anyone listening, Liz?
Yes. Yes. Everybody's very attentive.
So I want you to consider, but never take without thinking, any information given to you, regardless of the source and its apparent provenance. When someone starts a conversation by saying, I am a very wise X, Y, or Z, I would always exercise caution. Let the words speak for themselves. Do not try to put a reputation in front of your conversation to justify what you say. Critical thinking brings great wisdom because it is people like you that will look up to the sky and in your mind say, I wonder why, I wonder how. What is the reason for? When we place questions like this to people like us, we start to understand you, what is important to you, what makes your heart sing. We are not here to give commandments to you, but we want to understand you. What makes your brain tick? What is important to you? What makes you sad? What inspires you? This is the you that we want to know. We want to understand you. And to do that, we want you to speak to us. And if it is only for your own ends, your own amusement, your own education, then isn't that a good reason? You do not always have to be a servant to others. Be of good service to yourself, my friends. Now, who wishes to ask a question? And let us see if we are able to furnish you with an answer that will resonate with you.
Does anybody have a question? I have a question, if that's okay. In terms of a critical mind and self-awareness, how helpful is that in terms of developing mediumship?
Well, mediumship in and of itself is something of a conundrum, isn't it? Because on the one side, there are those that say, well, I am speaking to your mother, brother, father, sister. And on the other side, we have people saying, so you are speaking to invisible people and you expect me to believe you. So there is an aspect of critical thinking on behalf of those that are receiving the communication. But there must also be critical thinking of the medium themselves. To say, how do I feel about what I am feeling, hearing, knowing, tasting, touching? What do I feel about this? Do I accept blindly what is given to me? Or do I try to educate myself to feel what I feel, to know what I know? Those that would follow blindly will forever be blind. Those that open their eyes to the experience, that question what does not resonate, that need to know how and why. Through these actions, through this thinking, you understand it at a more fundamental level. Now you could say, well, why shouldn't I just acknowledge the information given to me and accept it as being correct? And I would say, where is the reasoning behind that? to make an assumption that the spirit world in some way is this this great gathering of very loving, peaceful people that would not try to deceive you. It sounds rather idyllic, but it too is a mirage. The world that you see around you is reflected in the world that surrounds you, the world that we inhabit. So those who may deceive you in a physical sense could be the very same people that try the same within the spiritual realms. And as much as we may like to think it is all fluffy rabbits and angelic beings around us, the spirit world is a representative of the world that they came from. And like attract like. So if you are an unpleasant soul, you will attract energy like it to you, which is a good reason to be a good person. If you question the energy that comes to you, then think about what you are putting out into the universe. Be loving, be kind, smile, be happy, and you will start to attract that energy to you, that law of attraction in action. So what you are seeking is seeking you. Does that help you in some way, my dear?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have a question?
Yeah, I'll go.
Thank you.
Hello. Um, when we hear the same prayer being recited over and over again, but prayers said from our hearts, wouldn't that the power of that prayer be more powerful?
The power, my friend, is in the intention behind it, not in the content of the words. But humans can be ritualistic, habit-forming creatures. And to say a particular prayer with a sense of reverence for it is not a disappointing thing to do. But whatever we say, if we do not infuse those words with the essence of a loving energy, then really those words are hollow. It is like taking a drink of water that has no vitality within it. You are performing an action of swallowing this liquid, but it has nothing inherently in it that is positive or nutritious to you. And yet, if you say something, if you tell me what it is you love about the world, and you infuse it with enthusiasm and love, and if you genuinely mean what you say, I will be enveloped by the beauty and the passion within the words that you speak. That in itself can be a prayer to the universe. It can be a reminder to me to see, to feel the compassion with which you speak. And so saying a prayer because it is a habit-forming exercise is a pointless exercise. But saying words with love, with reverence, with the essence of you within them. Let me give you an example. I love you. Three words said one after the other. We know what they mean. I love you. So the second time when I said it, I meant it. The first time I said them because they were three words. So when you put something of yourself into those words, my friend, you are investing love, spiritual power into the words. I know you understand what I am saying.
Yeah.
Have I helped you, my dear?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Hmm.
Who would like to ask a question?
Hmm. It seems that we have a shy audience this evening, my dear. All who wish to listen, but none who wish to speak. Well, there is a conundrum.
Then I have a question, please.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you, my dear.
I got really evidence in the last month, and then in the last week there was a point that I got so scared all of the sudden because there were signals in the night, and the night before I said I don't want that signals in the night because they scare me. But it came again, and then I thought, why is that happening? I talked to the spiritual world and said I'm scared of that, but it continued.
My friend, please be clear about what you mean when you say sickness came to you in the night.
Si
Are you,
no signals. The alarm went on in our house the whole time.
ah, so there was an essence of communication. This is what
Yeah,
you're saying. Well, my friend, we cannot always put a, a complete and justifiably, what is the right way? Let us say we cannot put everything that is unexplained at the door of the spirit world, my dear. You know, there are ways of communicating. There are times and places at which communication is welcomed. And my friend, any decent, loving, and respectful spirit entity, guide, family member will be more than happy, my friend, to accommodate your wishes.
mm,
So if we speak in a way such as, let us think about who may be communicating and how much of the experience is genuine phenomena from the spirit entities and how much is the technical operation of the equipment. Maybe there is a crossover.
of course.
Maybe it
Yeah,
is absolutely a
yeah,
technical issue. Or maybe it is an over enthusiasm of those who wish to grab your attention. But we know that
yeah,
even in the last 6 months, the ways in which you are perceiving communication from your loved ones is causing you to open your eyes and your mind to this new world that has become apparent to you.
yeah,
But we cannot always say, well, it must be the spirit world if it is something that I cannot quite wrap my head around at this moment. Because in many cases, my friend, just as when people look at dust flying through the light of a camera, they immediately blame us. They say, oh, it must be the spirit world because it is orbs, energy forms. And we would not say that it is not possible. because of course it is. But sometimes maybe the house just needs a good vacuuming. Does this make sense to you, my friend?
Yeah, thank you.
When you are speaking with love to us, it is only ever in our interest to accommodate you to the very highest degree possible. Why would we possibly want to cause you fear or trepidation in any way, and to maybe lose that opportunity to communicate with you?
Hmm.
It would not be our wish, my dear friend. We want to build relationships, not weaken them.
Yes, I know that the relationship is there.
Good. And long may it continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Would anyone else like to ask a question? Hi, June.
Yes, I'd like to ask a question, please. With all the movements of the planets in our solar system, you understand, at the moment, I have found that my energy is a little up and down, shall I say. It isn't as consistent as it could be. And I have also found that I need a lot of extra sleep at the moment. And I mean, when I say a lot of extra sleep, I mean, I can go to bed and I can sleep for 12 hours and get up and still go to bed that night and still sleep. Can you give me any answer to that question? I know it's difficult.
Yeah.
The easiest question.
My dear friend, there are many aspects within the answer that we would wish to give to you.
Yeah.
Now, regarding planetary influences, your position within the solar system and how it may affect you. Well, as a waterborne organism, there is no doubt whatsoever how the planetary influences can indeed alter your mood, alter the way that you feel, maybe induce a sense of tiredness. But his influence would not be so great, such that it would cause you to need to sleep much longer. What we would say, my friend, is let us consider that as the body goes through cycles of, let us say, the seasonal variations. Now, my friend, you will undoubtedly be affected by the lack thereof of the wonderful vitamin D within the body as we once more return from the winter time to something of a more sunny disposition. And you will find, my friend, that almost like a hibernating effect may come over you due to the lack of the sunshine within your body. Your brain will respond in a way that it will almost feel that it needs to slow down the body. It needs to bring you into a more restful state of being. And I know that as the days grow longer, the feeling of the sense of having withdrawn into quiet, the quiet aspect of your home, it will start to reduce as the increasing amount of sunshine will have a rejuvenating effect upon you. We cannot begin to explain just how susceptible some people are to the effects of that lack of daylight and how it causes this sense of malaise within the mind and the body. But there is a third explanation also, I must correct. There is a third possibility that as the body goes through these cycles of increased and decreased energy, let us think about the fact that we are all changing as we grow older. Sometimes our body responds in a way where we just need to say, I hear you, I feel you, and you respond to that need to rest. Maybe there are medical reasons behind it, but I am not a doctor and I will not diagnose to you. Sometimes the body just needs to rest, my friend, and quite rightly, you do that thing which is so natural to you. You think about how you feel and you respond to your feelings because you are an intuitive, feeling person, more so than the average. And so if you need to rest, why not rest, my friend? Does that help you in any way, my dear?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I was just getting a little bit concerned and feeling I was getting lazy, and yeah, I found myself telling my body
Mm.
I'm getting very, very lazy as I get older, and I
Well,
thought
my
I
friend,
would be like that.
as we have the journeys around the sun,
Mm.
the more that we rack up under our belt, do you not think it gives you a something of a right to say, well, I might have an extra time in bed today and the day after and the day after that? But I think as the days grow longer, your vitality will grow stronger.
Thank you.
But if ever there is any doubt about how you feel, please seek the advice of those who are permissible within your world to speak of these matters with great clarity. And so you speak to mm, the medical establishment, I think we should say.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Bless you, friend. Thank you.
thank you. Mm. Mm.
Would anyone else like to ask a question?
Mm.
Hi, Pauline.
That's it. Hello again.
Hello, my friend.
I was wondering, when amputees say that they can still feel their limbs,
Yes.
is that because the energy from their nervous system flows through to the etheric body?
Well, precisely, my friend. So you know only the physical aspect of that of the limb is missing, but that energetic aspect of it is it still feels like it is there. It is a part of you because you cannot cut a part of energy away, can you?
No.
So we can remove the physical way that you would perceive the hand or the foot or the leg or whatever it is. Hopefully not the head. And you could have this sense that you still feel because it comes down to the fact that you are more than just a physical body. There are those more and more subtle bodies, and the human mind, the human perception of the the energetic body can be such that you'll absolutely feel this. I believe you call it the phantom limb.
Yes.
So there is that sense that you feel something that is not there. And in one manner, it is true, it is not there. You cannot stamp your foot on the ground if you do not have the foot. But you can feel the essence, the presence of the energetic counterpart. So it makes you wonder, my friend, you know, when we have this, we have the donating of organs in a quite a literal way. A part of someone else is within you in a very living way. but also you are then connected energetically. And I know that there are people who have taken on dispositions and like a predilection for foods or drink or habits that were of the recipient donor. So a smoker may have donated an organ, and then a non-smoker decides to start smoking because that essence, that that sense of what they want, their consciousness, is within their body, and it exists within the organ donated, and we can respond to that yearning, that craving. So yes, it is quite true, my friend.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, I just wanted to see what you had to say.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
An interesting question indeed.
Would you like more questions?
Well, the night is yet young, my dear.
Who
If
else
we
would
do
like?
not have any more questions, then we are quite willing to bring the boy back. Let us say that your time is precious too.
Does anyone have a question?
Yeah.
Hi, June.
Yes. Can I ask another question, please? On the question of organ donation, how do you feel about that, about sharing organs with others? I understand the need for it, and I would probably do the same. I would probably donate if that was needed. But and also because of how you answered the last question, how can that in fact impinge then on another's life, even more so than you have just explained? And by that I mean, when you say you can take on the habits or the predispositions of others, what I'm really asking is, so if we have someone who was a really good person all their life, and then suddenly they were given, perhaps through an accident or something, the organ of someone who had been less well behaved, shall we call it, in inverted commas, in their lifetime, how would that affect the recipient of that organ?
It's a very complicated question, my dear, but let us break it down into sections. So let us first talk about the question of should you either donate or receive. Well, let us say from this point of view, when the spirit form leaves the body, in effect, we have an opportunity that is very time critical for those who could benefit from the organs. So there is a question to be answered of the potential donor, and that is, what will you do with your body when you no longer need it? And the question is, do you allow it to return to the soil, to become what it once was, just atoms just floating around in the universe? Or do you have an act of compassion? Do you bring into being the possibility that you will extend improve, or even give life to someone that otherwise would suffer. When you let go of that physical form, something that you no longer need, then that sense of attachment of you to a body, that sense that the body represents who you are, is no longer pertinent from our point of view. But let me say this. Your decision on what to do with your body should always remain yours. You have been the custodian of that body for however long. And you are the one that should make the decision of what happens to it. But again, I would say, if you don't need it, why shouldn't someone else benefit from it? Again, we are placing a thought within your mind, and we are not telling you what to do, but we want you to consider the effects of what you do or do not do. And that is, does someone else benefit from my passing, or do they not? Then we have the issue of, is there a predilection that is less than, let us say, loving? Now, you know, when the boy works with us, there is that sense that he is in there, we are in there, there is this toing and froing, a battle of will, who is speaking, who is not speaking, and then there is this moving away as we retire back to our existence and he comes back to whatever is normal for him. You understand this concept, my dear?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Excellent. So now, as we think about this, there is a battle of will. There is a sense of influence from us to him and from him to us. And you know, there are some times that we have this little to and fro, a little dance around the houses, and then eventually we get him where we need him. So let us say that there is someone that was maybe a little bit naughty, and the organ is received by the recipient, and let us say that they feel this inclination to be a little bit naughty too, and it is out of character. But let us say that they received a heart, and the heart of the person that has passed to spirit was a heart that was a little bit uncooperative with the normal aspects of life. Maybe they love to have a drink, or they love to be a smoker or whatever. But where does the final physical act lie? It lies with the person who has that physical form. It lies within their mind to say, I feel this urge to drink. However, I am not a drinker. I feel an urge to have a cigar or a cigarette. However, I am a non-smoker. But the will of the person who has received the organ cannot be overrun or overruled by those who donated it. It may be that there is this residual urge within, but as time passes on, my friend, it will become weaker and weaker, because the life force of you is ever replenishing, ever replacing, moving and emanating into every part of you. And so that their influence will become less over time, until such time that you realize you have not thought about it for many a year. Are there any other aspects of the conversation that you wish for me to repeat, my friend?
No, you've been very clear on that, and thank you very much for answering that question. It's a question
Yeah.
I've had for a long time. And yeah, so you have given me a lot of clarity on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear. You
Um,
know, when we have a spiritual loss, there are decisions to be made on behalf of someone that may have not consciously made that decision themselves. And there is a sense of loss of that physical person, that those that are left behind, they associate the love, the presence, the essence with the body. And it can be a very difficult decision to make, to say, I am willing for my loved one, who we see in this physical form, to be, in quite a blunt way of speaking, dissected and used to continue the life, the vitality of someone that is in need. But what makes you who you are is not what you see in the mirror. It is the essence of you that is contained within the physical form. So the real you is the driver inside the car. But the car is not you. The body is the car. The essence of you is the driver. And it is only the driver that you should be concerned with. So we do not seek to make use of something that has no animation. You are not in the body anymore. The real you is the bit that observes it all happening around you. But the real pain is the pain that is felt by those that are left behind. And we attach great importance to the physical form. And we say that that is my loved one lying there, when it could be that they are standing at your shoulder looking at what used to be them. I hope that makes sense, my friends.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. And Gabrielle has a question.
Good.
Yeah, my question is, would you address having an agenda, intention, and surrender
In what context, my friend?
in context of mediumship, coming in perhaps with an agenda, honestly speaking about myself in my beginning, and then it moves, that doesn't work, and then it goes to intention, and then realizing surrender is really the wise thing to do.
Yeah. So, we could place it from a different perspective. When you start the journey, almost certainly, my friend, you will be the most controlling aspect of the experience that there is, because you have a vision, you have a wish, you have a desire, and you want to mold your future into the vision that you have within your mind. And it is like saying to an artist, I want you to draw with very straight and rigid lines. I want every line to be equidistant from the other. I want them to always be the same color. I want them to be the same length. And I never want curves. I never want color. I never want texture or any other form. So you are seeking to restrict what is a creative process. Being a medium is like saying, what is it like to grow? What is it like to speak? What is it like to live? And it is a fluid process. It is a process of allowing the experience of connecting to this discarnate world to mold you in a way that resonates with you. But if you try to mold yourself in the vision of someone else, it will never feel right. It will never seem that it is correct for you, and it will feel like you are swimming against the tide. As you have grown older, you have realized that what makes you happy is not following a path that the cognizant mind thinks is the right path. It is that word that you said, surrendering. Surrender to our influence. Respond to that intuitive aspect of you that knows what is right for you, that knows what feels right. When you have that voice within you, my dear friend, that says, this is my path, this is my way, because it feels right to you. And so when we consider what is going to be the path of least resistance, it is when you respond to your own intuitive knowing. So if 99 people are walking up the hill, and there is that voice within you that says, I must walk down the hill, the logical mind says you must follow the rest. Surely 99 are right and you are wrong. And I say, no. That voice within you is that voice of knowing. A voice that does not engage with the logical thinking brain. It engages with the brain in your belly. That brain that knows the truth. And when you surrender to what you know to be right, that knowing within you, then it seems like the answers have suddenly fallen into your lap. And the truth of it is you stopped fighting with yourself. You stopped trying to have the neat boxes with the straight lines all equidistant. You realized that the real beauty was the way that the path meanders. And there are the waterfalls and the rapids. And as that path opens up, and as that river of life gets wider, more expansive, it finds its own way. And as you get older, you realize that you are finding your own way. So, be the very best Gabrielle, and not another version of someone else. Because the very best version of you is that authentic one that knows who you are because you feel it. I hope I've helped you in some way, my dear.
Very much so. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. That begs another question, which I will experience from myself. Nonetheless, what is the wisest way to mine that truth within myself?
The wisest way to find the truth within you?
To mine it more. Yes, to uncover.
You know, when someone asks you a question, and there are two answers that are given at the same time. There is the answer that your mind perceives, and the answer that your body knows. I would say you go with the answer that your body knows. So if I said to you, my friend, I want you to learn trampolining tomorrow, what would you say to me?
I would say at this point, I would probably pee in my pants if I'm on a trampoline.
Now, if I said to you, there are going to be 3 people that knock on your door tomorrow, each of them have a problem that is potentially life-changing. But within your life experience, you have all of the answers that they will need. If I said that to you, now what would you do?
I would do my best to let them know they have the same. And perhaps if I would feel the answers come from within, I would give them.
Precisely, my friend. You would feel the answers rise from within you, because you would be calling within yourself. You would be searching within your body, within your mind, the essence of who you really are. And you would come up with those answers, because you would be invested in this act of love and compassion. Whereas the thought of doing trampolining really doesn't resonate with you. And so it is an easy, cognizant way to respond by saying, not anymore, my friend. Maybe some years ago I would have enjoyed trampolining, but not now. So you see, the conscious mind is a way of perceiving, but often it is just based upon logic, yes and no, black and white, right and wrong. When there are matters of the heart, matters of a person's future, there is that aspect of yourself that rises from within, maybe from many lifetimes ago. It is as if all of the answers you ever need are just waiting to be perceived. And when you work like this, my friend, you start to uncover the real you.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Beautiful questions. Mm. Mm.
Thank you. You've made me laugh.
Why is this, my friend?
Just the trampolining.
Mm.
Could I ask you a question?
Of course, my friend.
I was wondering if there's anything you would be happy to share in terms of important considerations for physical mediumship.
Well, there are many considerations, my friend. But the most important one, follow the path without expectation. Feel every moment within the environment with a sense of love, a sense of awe, a sense of wonder. And give unto the spirit world your time, your energy, your love. Fill it with laughter. Fill it with that sense that I wonder what will happen next. Do not seek to shackle us with demands and wants and needs. In essence, you are doing what we spoke about with Gabriel. You are making the lines neat, equidistant, all the same color. When we know that sometimes it is good to have this sense of wonder, using new colors, new forms, new directions. We just need to be with you. And let us see what great wonders can happen, given the opportunity for us to work unrestricted, but to work in a presence of love. We will bring you love. You bring us love. And let us see if we cannot expand that love in between the two worlds, so that we may reunite people, so they may be shown on the faces of the mediums, Maybe they can materialize from the floor. Maybe they can speak in their own voice. All of these things have already been done. So we know it is not just a pipe dream. It is a fact that it is possible. But in a world of convenience, where you want everything right now, it restricts us. So let us go into that experience with nothing but the hope, the knowledge, and the love of a spiritual brother and sisterhood, working together in this common goal of showing you that life indeed is eternal. And there are many ways in which it can be proved. That is what I would say to you, my friend.
Thank you very much. Beautiful.
Well, shall we kick the boy out and return him to you?
Yes, please.
Very well. Now, my friends, to all who have taken part this evening, whether you asked a question or not, please understand the great value of you as a spiritual being, you as a human, you as a brother, sister, mother, whatever you are to whoever you are. Know how very much you are loved. Even when there are moments at which your life seems to be filled with emptiness, or despair, or anger, know how very much you are loved. Love is that unbreakable bond that transcends the physical and the spiritual. We know that the physical loss is difficult. It was never meant to be easy. But we want you to know that the thoughts that you send, the hopes that you have, they are perceived. They are known. Love is that immutable bond between all of us. And may every step of your life, every breath that you take, every thought that you have be filled with love. Not because it is a grand idea or vision, but because it is the truth. The truth is you are love. You are love going by a name, a form, a nationality, but you are love. And with that, my friends, we will return the boy to you. But may every blessing be upon you and those that you love. And may it never be a doubt that fills your mind. Thank you.